Welcome back, my friends, to one more episode of Rethink Vertical right here with your host, Kinsley Jordan. Super excited to be with you guys as we have some great information to bring you and introductions to another company in the UAS space that are really making waves. Again, welcome back. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe, follow along, join in, link with us with all of the activities that is happening with the Cluster Initiative. And if this is the first time joining, we are the UAS Cluster Initiative, which is a regional innovation cluster focused on connecting the ecosystem across the uncrewed autonomous aerial systems, UAS, advanced air mobility, emerging aerospace, all of the above. Super excited to be with you. So make sure you subscribe, follow along, because there is a lot happening. And with that, some of the upcoming events that are on the docket that I think are going to be very interesting to you, if you did not see this yet already, is Aerospace Week coming up March 31st through April 6th. That's here in Oklahoma. Oklahoma Aerospace and Aeronautics is ODAA, Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics, is hosting that. But there's multiple different events, in case you don't know, starting on the 31st, Stafford Air Museum schedule of events. Then the Aerospace Week kicks off on March 31st, 5 to 7 p.m. at Innovation Hall. And if you've not been down there, oh my gosh, if you haven't been down there, to the Oklahoma City Innovation District, the new building that they have, it really is impressive there at Innovation Hall. So you need to get down there where that kickoff is. It's really going to be awesome. 5 p.m. to 7:35 p.m. on March 31st. Also, then the following day, OADII, the Aerospace Defense Symposium taking place, same location, the Innovation Hall, there with the Oklahoma City Innovation District, followed by the Aerospace Advocacy and Awareness Day, which is taking place at the Oklahoma State Capitol. Really interesting and exciting, as you can kind of see there with the picture. Multiple vendors, multiple organizations there supporting what they do and demonstrating what they do for the advocacy of aerospace here in Oklahoma, which is really awesome. Then OK Aces, a career fair taking place April 3rd, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And one that we will be at, which is also exciting, OAR's Emerging Technology and Aerospace Symposium. That's taking place at the OSU Ham Institute. That's actually right next door to Oklahoma City Innovation District and Innovation Hall. So make sure certain you get there. That's on April 4th, 8 to 4 p.m. And then the OKC ID, the Innovation District Student Aero Day, but as you can see from that's invitation only. So a lot happening here in the upcoming months. Make certain that you mark your calendar for that, because you don't want to miss what's happening, not only in Oklahoma, but also in the UAS industry, emerging air mobility industry as a whole. And that's where we get to our introduction of just touching base with an amazing company that we came in contact with at the UAS cluster, CubeNexus. Now, we had a chance to be able to sit down just for a quick talk. We're going to have them on later in the future as well with CubeNexus, with one of the co-founders and CEO, Steven Brandt, of CubeNexus. And it's really wildly interesting. Not only, I don't want to spoil the good news, but not only were they listed as the top 100 startup company, but also what they're doing to be able to capture data in a way and demonstrate data in a mind-blowing way that really I've not seen it being done by any other company, of how we view and understand what data is telling us in this geospatial understanding of time and space and location. Just imagine this, again, not to give spoilers away, but just imagine if you were able to have not a report of what the data from any sensor is telling you, but what if that data was a living person that you were able to have a conversation with? What? Yeah, mind-blowing. But what if you were able to have a conversation with the data that you are collecting from sensors, sensor capability, any of those points in time and space? What if that was able to have a conversation with you? And what is it that you would be able to collect from that? I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing conversations. Thanks for being here with us right now on the Rethink Vertical. And let's dive into it with Steven Brandt, co-founder and CEO, CubeNexus. Let's get to it. Hey, so as I was mentioning before, super excited to be able to have with us not only CEO and co-founder of CubeNexus, Steven Brandt. Thank you so much for being with us. Truly, really excited not only to be able to share what you guys are doing, but most excited to be able to share really what's coming up and what you guys are working on, the phase you're in. So welcome so much to the podcast. One, Would you tell us just a little bit about like how did you guys get started? I think the startup story is really cool as far as how this pulled together, what you guys are, what CubeNexus is.
My
My
co-founder
co-founder
Adam
Adam
Gobo
Gobo
is
is
former
former
Marine
Marine
and
and
former
former
pilot.
pilot.
And well, I
And well, I
guess
guess
once a
once a
Marine,
Marine,
always a
always a
Marine.
Marine.
Once
Once
a
a
pilot,
pilot,
always
always
a
a
pilot.
pilot.
Yeah.
And he saw a lot of geospatial challenges with sensor data integration overseas, over in the Horn of Africa, over in Afghanistan. I saw the same. I worked on the MQ-9 program for years in the Air Force. Huge challenges of silo data, and this IP that Adam developed was just a solution, like a simple solution to this spatial data integration problem. How do you know when things are where in 3D over time? That's the question that we're trying to answer. How do you do that accurately? How do you do it quickly? So he pitched it to me. My background's all on the business finance side. His goal was focus on building the product. My goal, focus on getting the company off the ground, getting financing, getting customers. So it's been about 10 months, and so far we're doing both.
Yeah, yeah. So anybody who knows the startup space, once you like, there's this moment where you get so excited about the tech and the capability, and you realize, oh my gosh, there's something really, really here. We can do something huge with this. And then the rubber meets the road, and you realize, okay, but we really like this is the reality we're creating and starting and start not only starting the company, but really diving into helping people understand what it is that we do at CubeNexus. And here's the technology how because there is so much kind of in the UAS space and the tracking space and people wrapping their mind around data, how to be able to consume data, how to understand what the data is actually telling you. Like there's so much to that now. How do you describe simply, hey, this is the value of what CubeNexus really is?
The
The
main
main
way
way
we
we
communicate
communicate
value
value
to a
to
customer, especially in the UAV and aviation space generally, is we have no room for error in our system. So we provide accurate, integrated, sensor derived data integration on a spatiotemporal level. What you can do with that, so that's at the software level, what you can do with that is build a system like a GPS denied navigation system where it's not just using LiDAR, it's not just using photogrammetry, it's not just using radio frequency, it's using all of them because the software is actually able to integrate those into a three-dimensional spatial and a time series spatiotemporal full picture of what's going on around the platform. So that is what you can do. That is valuable from an operational application level. And then kind of at a deeper level, how do I actually leverage AI on sensor derived data? This is a huge challenge, and no company has found a easy, quick solution to it. And we're hoping to provide that. Is can I let you build applications off of your sensor derived data that are solving your operational challenges? And can I let you just really understand the context of what your sensors are telling you? So that's really where the value comes from, is the context of your data.
Do people set out knowing and understanding that from the get go? I mean, when they talk about being able to integrate that understanding, is that one of the misconceptions you find that people have an idea of how their data is going to work and what they're going to be able to collect, and then once they actually start collecting that, they realize this maybe not necessarily what they want initially, not from your guys' perspective, but is that one of the kind of the crux of how you consume data and what sensors are really telling you?
Well, the concept of being able to leverage AI on multiple different types of sensor inputs at a low compute, at a efficient level is foreign to most people, because the way we've tackled the challenge of sensor derived information being integrated is by throwing massive amounts of GPU power at it. I mean, it's a testament to why NVIDIA is so valuable right now. And we're offering a simpler, better way. Can I integrate a LiDAR file, a radio frequency file collected from software defined radios, and photos into a software platform that I can then build a navigation system off of, or as we're also doing, building a platform that a user can interface with using natural language processing. So have a conversation with your data. Use AI to have a conversation with the raw data. No one is doing that. And I think there's a lot of value, not just in like the navigation space for aviation, but also in the broader analytics space. Whether you're a major airline doing analytics on your airline collected data, or you're a UTM innovator trying to build a UTM platform for the aviation and UAS space. It's huge right now. How do you quickly and accurately analyze all those different inputs from the airspace? We provide that type of simple solution without throwing a whole bunch of GPU power behind it to try to visualize it and see what's going on. We let you have a conversation and then visualize it in a very low compute way, which is valuable to someone who has all of those inputs.
Yeah, that is wild to me. I think back to a couple of companies that I've seen that where they were very impactful over the last 5-7 years of helping to be able to translate the regular data from a flight, even just general aviation, just talking general aviation, collecting the data in a meaningful way, aggregating it together, and then creating basically outputs that help uh, airlines, help corporate airlines make smart and safe decisions based on the data they're getting. But what you're talking about is fundamentally, I mean, it is like light years ahead in the thought of, hey, we're not just aggregating the data and trying to consume it in a way of reports. You're talking about, what if your data could talk, and what would your data
Right.
tell you that you're not seeing? That's wild.
Yeah, it is spatial consciousness almost. I mean,
Yeah.
our system is the structure of the data spatiotemporally is much more like a video game than it is like traditional inputs into a aviation system. So we treat the data in the real world as a developer would building a video game. It is our name is CubeNexus because we base everything off of a cube-based reference system in the world. And we see that if you treat three-dimensional space like that, then you can form a picture of all of the things happening at one time over time in a certain volumetric space. And that's what you need to generate that idea of consciousness, where you can leverage AI who understands that structure, and it will give you an answer based on that data input, but might not be an answer that you even expect, right? Because you haven't spatiotemporally related all those inputs in in 3D over time. So that's what powers the navigation system we're building. That's what powers the platform we're building. And there are probably a dozen or more, probably 100 more applications you could think of. But these are the ones we're starting out with. And we have strong IP behind us, which is great. We just brought on a team, which is awesome. And we're excited to demo it to people like this summer.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you can see the website. I just pulled the website up to be able to share. If you can kind of, I don't know if you're able to kind of see that in the background, but to me, the visual that you were talking about of not just looking at, I mean, if you can imagine a point in space and then tracking that over time, adding the dimension of time into it. Not only do you have that three-dimensional perspective, but then you have that three-dimensional perspective in the future. I mean, it's amazing to me, truly, because this is a level of fidelity of understanding the information that you're getting in a way, as you said. I don't know anybody else who is doing that. And the thing that really got me most excited is that very simple statement. What would you say, like, if you could ask your data anything, if you could talk to your data, what would you try to get? What would you try to understand about it? And that's what you guys are setting up to be able to do. Not in well, I assume not in like a machine learning sense conversationally, but in the sense of saying, hey, if this could tell you a story and you can query it for additional information, that's what you're finding out. What is the limitation? Obviously, probably not the sky's the limit. But what are the current limitations when you're thinking about utilizing this spatial temporal data and helping people to understand how beneficial this is? What is the limitation you're seeing as people try to consume and understand this next leap in understanding data?
Well, honestly, the rise of LLMs has helped a lot because framing it in this way helps people to understand that you can learn things through AI and analyze things through AI that you couldn't before, because the amount of data behind the system is more than the human brain can compute in 1 second. So the limitations we generally are facing when it comes to talking to a potential customer, talking to a potential investor, is them understanding the scalability of it, of them understanding that the product that we are building could be used by every single company that has a data input, not just a sensor data input, an event based time. If there's time location, it could be used by anyone.
Yeah.
So that, I think, is the limitation, because when you say it can apply to everything, people hear it applies to nothing because they don't have the product
Yeah.
perspective. So that's why we're building, these two products, like the platform that allows you to interface with your data set through an LLM, and this navigation system that shows the power on the hardware, like edge level, of leveraging this type of spatial reference system that we use. So um, yeah, I think 3 or 4 years ago, this would have been tough to get people to understand. They would have just said, "Oh, you're just coming up with another like coordinate system. Cool, go talk to like standards agency or something," which is important. Like we are doing that. That is important. But from a product perspective, the rise of AI and the LLM like ubiquity has helped a lot.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I don't want to I don't want to underplay this little tidbit as well. Now, when I asked you before we came on and started recording this, I almost felt you kind of like you almost downplayed it, but I just want to boost it up. If this is not a small downplay, I mean, because you guys were with Emerge, you were named top 100 startups. Uh,
Yeah,
for the
that was
that's
awesome.
oh my gosh, it's huge.
Yeah, no, shout out to the Emerge Americas team. They're backed by several really awesome investors and family offices down in Miami. And yeah, we proposed to them back in December, January. Just found out we got selected to be part of their accelerator showcase. We'll be pitching down in Miami at the end of next month. So anyone in town, hit us up. We have a couple really awesome investors that are behind us, and some really good advisors that are down in Miami as well. So that was a good one for us on the PR side. So hopefully it continues.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Kind of parting shots for anybody who's interested in connecting with you guys and finding out. I do want to throw this up there real quick, just so as people are listening, they're able to take a look real quick. LinkedIn, if you want to follow along with CubeNexus, what you guys are doing, follow there. Go take a look, follow along with them. What are you most excited about here in the upcoming months, in the upcoming year, for where you guys are at with the progress that you've seen? What are the kind of next critical major steps that you guys are looking at?
So converting customers that we currently have pilots with to revenue generation is the biggest milestone this summer. We're doing our beta product launch in June. So that's really the thing we're excited for the most, to get it out there. People can go sign up, start using our platform. If you're a data analyst or no data analyst who want to try this out, if you know geospatial nerds who want to try this out, tell them to follow our socials. It'll all be there. The other big thing we're excited about is just the performance and we don't know what our team will build. We just hired 5 people with the investment capital we raised, and they're all superstars, former startup, former big tech companies, some guys in video game development, and UAV systems engineers. So when you bring a team together and you haven't worked before, like Adam and I, my co-founder, have been working for a year on this, but you bring new blood in. Super exciting to see like what they'll build. So I'm super confident that our team will build some amazing things over the next year, and hopefully, hopefully folks out there think so as well, and we get happy customers by Q4.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I do want to be respectful of your time. Truly, thank you so much for stopping by. Here, for friends listening, we're absolutely going to have more of an opportunity in the near future to dive a little bit deeper into what you guys see, what you're happening, possibly be able to bring on your co-founder. as well, hopefully, to be able to share more about the awesome mission that you guys have with CubeNexus, because this is really, really exciting, not only to the Oklahoma ecosystem, but frankly, just in the UAS, advanced air mobility, what this actually means but for the impact overall. So thanks so much for joining us. We truly, truly appreciate it. Thanks, Steven.
Thanks, Kinsley. Great to see you. Have a good day. Cheers.
I tell you, it's amazing to me. What is happening in the UAS space is absolutely it's absolutely wild. I mean, it took before we had the chance to have that conversation, it took a little bit to wrap my mind around just how impactful this is, not only to the UAS industry, not only to advanced air mobility, but to autonomy as a whole, to look at data in this new perspective. And it's really been blowing my mind in what does the future look like? Where is it, no kidding, that we are going to be able to see ourselves go as we rethink what vertical looks like? No pun intended to the name of the podcast, but legitimately, this completely, absolutely changes the circumstances that we're looking at. So if you haven't had a chance to be able to follow along, I would encourage you to be able to do exactly that. Now, one of the things that I do want you to know is as we do look to the future podcasts, if you're interested, if you're tuning in and you want to be able to hear more of the information that you're specifically looking for, don't hesitate. Go right over to uascluster.com to be able to share with us. We'd love to be able to hear your ideas of who you want to hear from, what you want to hear about, and the conversations that are important to the UAS ecosystem as a whole. So without further ado, as your host and regional director of the UAS Cluster Initiative, we will see you later next time, my friends. Thanks so much again for joining us. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure you do, in fact, please check out the uascluster.website.com, as well as subscribing to the newsletter that we have for you. We'll see you next time, friends. See you.